Hi there, Ken from Audio Talk. Today's video is about telling the difference between what's called 100 volt, 70 volt systems for audio, and then low impedance systems, which are the most common ones to most people, which is the 4 to 16 ohm, typically 4 or 8 ohm systems. So how do you tell the difference between those so you don't mix them? Because it's important not to mix these two, because each component from each side here can actually burn out electronics on both sides. So like a 100 volt amp to a low impedance speaker can simply just kill the speaker over time and burn it out prematurely. And the load from a low impedance speaker driver on a 100 volt output is way too low, so it would take on way too much current, and so they're destructive. These two types of systems are important to identify and not mix. So how do we do that? So on an installation, let's take the commercial part first here, because that's the one that has an extra component that's easy to identify. So on the loudspeakers, particularly ceiling speakers, you will see there's a transformer sitting on the actual speaker. That's because it's taking a high voltage, which is the 100 volt or 70 volts, and then stepping it down, and it has a lot of advantages. I think we should get into that after we just kind of identify what we're looking at. So the low impedance speaker has no transformer on it. So many times also you are able to, if you do end up with a 100 volt speaker or 70 volt speaker with that transformer, likelihood are you can remove the transformer and connect the speaker directly to the low impedance, a regular amplifier. Do check though if with a gauge like on your resistance, if you're about somewhere between 3 and 7 ohms, so you're within the reasonable load of that amplifier. Could be a 4 ohm speaker, and if you have more than that one speaker on that output, be careful with the parallel connection. I have another video. Some people love it and some people don't, because it gets like really into like how you calculate the impedance on each speaker. But it's just so important that you know that you don't get below what the amplifier are able to handle as far as impedance, because that is what kills it. So, and the same thing goes for here. You know, the differences between the 100 volt system and the low impedance systems, not to mix them, and that's again load that we're worried about here and what can kill equipment. And also something I hear, I do support on this. I sell the equipment in Europe, in Denmark, Scandinavia, and that is that, well, it worked for a year, or worked for 2 years or 3 years, but that's how electronics is. You can lock out, and it works for a while. Typically there will be notably distortion, but you know, lives are busy, and you know, you can also think that some of these commercial systems we grew up with, like in the stores, the 100 volt systems, don't sound very good, just period, you know. I mean, even if you do it right, they don't sound good. So, you know, so you might not pick up on that it's not working optimally from the get-go. So why is there these two different systems, you might ask? I don't know if you do, but here it comes. So the 100 volt system and 70 volt systems is really smart as far as commercial use. The reason is that you can by using 100 volt, 70 volt systems, you can transfer energy, power to the speakers on really far through wiring, and without using particularly thick wiring. So it's cheaper and easier. And so you can then also parallel together these speakers. That means that you can run one wire from the amplifier out to one speaker, and from that to the next, to the next, to the next, like that, plus and minus, just parallel them out. The only thing you have to then think about, where you have to really worry about your impedance load on the low impedance system, here you kind of do too. But the way you go about it is a lot simpler. So how do you go about finding out how much you can put on this amplifier? Let's take a 100 watt amp, 100 volt amp, and for it to have longevity, like for you to count on this system for a long time to come, I would recommend not loading it more than 70% of what it can do on that output. So count on that you have 70 watts of available power, and then it'll last a while. So 70 watts total. Each speaker that has this transformer, you're able to set that by either moving a wire to different spots on a transformer, or you will have a dial that you can change to make that connection. Each one of those positions will have a number and wattage, and then you just add those together. So if you have one speaker set to 6W, 6 watts, you have another one for maybe 20 in another room, then you're up at 26, and you have another one at 10, then you're at 36, and so forth. So that's how you can just keep connecting them together, and as long as you're under 70 on that entire circuit, you're good, and then it will last a long time. You just can't exceed the 100. And I get the counter question often, well, I'm not going to be playing very loud. But that doesn't matter. It matters a little bit, but not enough. Then the total impedance load is going to be too low, so the amp is going to struggle anyway. So it's very important that you don't exceed the limitations of that impedance load, which is essentially resistance. Now, I have a video about the low impedance side, like the 4 to 16 ohm amplifiers that you find in hi-fi and home theaters and all of this. But let me just quickly go through it. And here, if you want multiple speakers like that, if you have a low impedance amplifier and you want to run multiple speakers in, like, say, a restaurant or something, you really have to be careful not to get under the 4 ohm load that most amplifiers are not able to handle under. I mean, then you'll be running too much current. It's almost getting to the part where it's a short on the output. So that's why you need to not do that. And what happens is that if you have, let's say you have one speaker plus minus here, 8 ohms, same thing here, plus minus 8 ohm speaker, and you parallel those two together like this, when now for the power is half as hard to get through from plus to minus, and you halven your impedance down to 4 ohm total. So that's the part where you need to be careful, because with two 8 ohm speakers you are now down to the limitation of most amps. If you take another one and do the same thing, now you're below and you're running the risk of burning out your amplifier. Maybe not right away if it's low background music, but maybe over a course of 3 months, a year, 2 years. It's hard to say like exactly how much it needs to be pushed over the edge there. What you can do is that you start mixing parallel and serial connections. So if you had these two speakers here, 8 ohm as before, and then you introduce another speaker at say 4 ohms, let's say that, you could put these two, there's back here, in series, like connect them after one another like this, and now you'll be back up to 8 ohms, because in series you're adding them together. So that's how you can do these mixed connections on that to still do a multi, like a lot of speakers connected to an amplifier. One thing though is that the 100 volt system, 70 volt system, is, you can run it in tiny wiring like we talked about before because of the high voltage. A low impedance system typically is running down in like 30, 40, 50 volt at the most. So that means that you need a much thicker gauge to connect these with. So, you know, particularly if it's a long stretch, if you're like looking to pull 50, 100 feet from the amp all the way out, you really want to go 100 volt or 70 volt systems, because the losses in a low impedance system is going to be really high. You're going to be needing some very thick wiring, and still it will be audibly low out at the end. So yeah, so the advantage of the low impedance amp and the speakers is that they sound more warm. They'll always have, pretty much across the board, would have full frequency range, which means that you will have some bass and you will have some highs, where that the cheaper stuff from 100 volt and 70 volt would have a limited frequency range because of the transformers. So they can be as low as like 12,000 hertz, and maybe only running down to like 60, 70, maybe only 80 hertz. So it would have like a narrow band of sounds, which makes it sound not very good. Sound is also perhaps a little bit more grainy. It's not as vibrant. However, there is systems now for 100 volt. I mean, if you spend a little bit more, that has quite decent sound, where it's, you know, relaxing and good sounding, but it will never be as good as low impedance. It just won't. It's just very practical, and for many applications in a store and a school and so forth, it's good enough, and it still sounds totally fine. So yes, very important not to mix these systems. That will give you a lot of, well, that would typically give you problems, and it could be problems that you don't see right away. You will see them way down the line, and I see quite a few of it out, a few of these misperceptions out there, installations commercially made, where there's been a mix-up and where there's confusion on why this doesn't work and why it's keep destroying equipment. So all right, that's all I want to say about it. I thought that was plenty too, but anyway, please comment down below, ask questions about this. And here it's Kent from Audio Talk, and have fun with your projects. Bye.